What's the weirdest thing you've been told not to do because it's gay? I took up photography a few years back, and my friends asked me to photograph their wedding. I did it and even made them a slideshow with nice music because I wanted to try it out. I showed it to them, and my buddy said it was gay. He called his own wedding photos gay. What did his husband think of your pictures? As a man, I find the idea of gay marriage absolutely disgusting, but my husband insisted, so here I am. That's pretty gay. A few things I've been called gay for doing. Reading using an umbrella, wearing a sweater, not knowing how to play any songs by Stevie Ray Vaughan on the guitar, at age 15, yawning, wearing a shirt with another man's name on it. It was a hockey jersey with a player's name on it, and I was 12. Just to name a few off the top of my head. A few things I've been called gay for doing. Bad school memories, unlocked. The funny, not funny. Thing too was, it was when I was in grade 4, and it was the student teacher who said it. We did an annual trip to a water park in June every year before the end of the school year. I had a broken arm that year, so on the way out to the bus, I ran back to the room and grabbed a book, and as I was walking out, he was like, "A book. You're gonna spend the day reading." And I was like, "Well, broken arm, you know." And he was like, "Pretty gay, dude, pretty gay, dude, pretty gay." Grabbed a book, and as I was walking out, he was like, "A book. You're gonna spend the day reading." And I was like, "Well, broken arm, you know." And he was like, "Pretty gay, dude, pretty gay." I didn't know my dad was your teacher. Holy shit. Well, at least you got it lucky, as someone who still carries around a book with him to this very day. Dad used to call me a gay for reading just about everywhere all the time. You're so busy with your face in a book all the time. I'm so disappointed in you, son. I brought extra condoms down with me because I thought you'd be a chip off the old block taking virginity. You're not one of those folks, right? My dad, on the common area at the hotel we were staying at on vacation when I was 13 years old. Eating pussy. Not joking, bro. If it's a woman doing it, it's pretty gay. But based on the context, I don't think that's what they meant. Not if she says no homo. My dad used to tell my brothers not to wash their hair so much, or they would turn gay. Real men can fry a steak with the grease in their hair. The mental image made me gag. Thank you for that. I was taken aside by my deeply concerned and shocked friend, and was told, "You know, that's a male cat you're stroking." I was astonished. The implication that petting a cat is sexual, and that this friend thought it was okay to sexually pet female cats, is concerning to say the least. Exactly. It's so wrong on so many levels. It really betrays the internal machinations of a confused mind. Being kind to others. Excuse me, wasn't aware that I had to burp and fart right in your face to state that I'm a straight guy. Literally, it just happened about 5 minutes ago. Listening to music at work, Cyndi Lauper's Time After Time came on. Co-worker walked by and informed me how gay I looked sitting at my desk, listening to that song. Apparently, I passed a straight guy test back in the 90s, when I looked at my nails, palm up with my fingers curled in V's palm, down with my fingers out straight. I forgot about that. Late 80s for me. In the 6th grade, girls were trying to figure out which boys were gay or straight, and that was apparently a fail-proof test, despite being gay. I did it the straight way, so fuck you, Angela. You're still a dog. In the 6th grade, girls were trying to figure out which boys were gay or straight, and that was apparently a fail-proof test. These women have now graduated to Facebook for such earth-shattering studies. In middle school, our test was to tell a guy he stepped in dog shit or whatever, and the test was how he checked the bottom of his shoes, bringing the leg forward, crossing the other leg, and twisting your ankle up a straight, bending the leg back and looking over your shoulder. Gay. Sounds legit. Next time, after I've sucked a dude's dick, I'm gonna ask him to do this. And that motherfucker better not be gay. Just please make sure he's no longer in middle school. Say the word cute. Cooking. I have to feed myself, and I prefer fresh, nutritious meals that don't require unhealthy takeaway and cost a fortune. I've never understood this theory, as so many of the top chefs are straight males. It has been a male-dominated industry for years. I do the majority of the cooking in our house. An acquaintance found out and basically said it's gay for a man to cook, but grilling is fine. However, I found out his version of grilling is his wife doing all the prep work, carrying the stuff to him, telling him how to cook it. Then he drinks beer while he grills, shouts for her when it's done. She takes all the food and plates it up and serves it to him and guests outside. Then she cleans up afterwards. He also causally said one time, when the wife says yes, you get married, it's consent for life. I had to explain to him the concept of spousal rape and how that essentially what he was doing. For her sake, I hope the marriage doesn't last. Had a friend who said he had weird bumps coming up on his skin, so I suggested he go to the dermatologist.
He said only women do that. All right, man. Good luck.
Same thing happened to me, except when I suggested the dermatologist, my friend said, you only go there if there's something wrong with your dick. Common mistake. That's the dickmatologist. Gynecologist. A Eastern European gentleman told me that doing photography was gay. Never quite figured that one out. I was a photojournalist a long time ago, and every single time I was at a sporting event or concert, some man would come up and challenge my knowledge of camera gear. And it was always about the gear, never the technique, always about this lens or that camera body, never about framing or keeping your other eye open so you could catch the right moment when it happened. If I had $1 for every time I heard big camera for a little lady, I could probably buy one of those pointlessly expensive lenses. Name 3 f-stops, and none of the gay ones. Dress well when I was single. What was weirdest was the comment came from a girl. She swore that any guy that was single in their 20s and dressed nicely was gay. I was in college when that metrosexual fad happened, and the fact that I generally wore, like, polos and showered made people call me metro. It was the weirdest, dumbest thing. Did metrosexual just mean you care about hygiene? That was a really weird fad, I agree. It was a thing in the early 2000s, probably prompted by the original queer eye for the straight guy. Basically, it suddenly became awkward men to wear moisturizer and put on nice clothes. Drinking with a straw because it reminds her of sucking dick. She was serious. I had a roommate who believed this. When he gave me shit about still using them, I told him it was easy because my penis was big enough that straws didn't remind me of it. He didn't care for that comment. He would also shield his privates with his hands if he was in the same room as a running microwave, believing if he didn't, he'd become sterile. Edit. I also forgot he would buy bottles of Perrier, drink them, and then line them up on top of the kitchen cupboards for decoration, which I hated, and not just because he didn't stay consistent with which bottle size he bought. He'd also make peanut butter sandwiches with like half a cup of peanut butter on them. I adore peanut butter, but that shit was gross. It was so much. But, lest we forget people contain multitudes, I was also very broke when I lived with him in 2009, and he was very nice and would get me a couple 5-layer burritos unprompted from Taco Bell sometime. Picturing his co-worker reheating lunch in the break room as he is covering his junk like he's hiding an erection. Imagine being that creative but not creative enough to just not stand in front of the microwave. The lady concerned was perhaps familiar with sucking very tiny dicks. Yes, she saw mine. Drink wine. Eat vegetables. Shh. Gonna be hard to break it to my wife that I'm a big old flamer. Apparently, she already knows. It was the wine, the veggies, and those 37 dicks he sucked. It's so hard to stop after the first 36. Taking an umbrella when it's raining. And wearing sunscreen. I was once too cool for sunscreen. Then I fell asleep outside in the Tor 95-30, 5x sun, and my chest was covered in blisters, and my skin turned purple. Mate, sweet, sweet skin cancer is so straight. May sound cheesy, but here we go back in uni. I used to take an oversized umbrella with me when it was raining. Not all the campus bus stops had rain shelters, and I'd stand next to female students, so the umbrella kept them out of the rain. I'd get a thank you, and we'd usually start talking until the bus arrived, and sometimes I got their number. Yes, I used to use an umbrella to pick up women. Lame out. The Hollies wrote a song about using an umbrella to pick up a girl at a bus stop, so it's not that bad. You two, be at 75 ukes. You two, be at 75 ukes you pop. Cooking at home, ye gay, sheafy, manly man who subsists off of cocaine, Marlboros, Fernet, and Ray. Gender norms seem to disappear once one can become famous or wealthy doing it. I'm waiting for the manly, ripped, angry, cocaine-fueled cosmetologist shows. You got the foundation shade wrong, Sandra. You absolute fucking idiot. Does that look peach to you? To be fair, in a real restaurant kitchen, it's a completely male-dominated industry. And the shit we say to each other could be construed as either homophobic or homoerotic. Ruza Nemechekso came looking for this. Also strange, considering how many times it got me laid. Not by a woman, I hope, because that will be gay. It even put a spring in my step and had me whistling for days. So gay. Dating masculine or athletics women. Fellas, is it gay to date women? Yes. I'm truly baffled each day by the comments from dudes calling being attracted to muscular women gay. Like dog, being attracted to women is basically the only thing that specifically precludes being gay. Like dog, being attracted to women is basically the only thing that specifically precludes being gay, unless you are yourself a woman. In which case it is mandatory. I can only assume these guys are confused about who these rules apply to. Hom, or like the color purple. If I do both, does the gay cancel? Naya, it becomes gay square. But squares are straight. Nah, two sets of straight lines enjoying a perpendicularism is definitely gay. Prince got so much pussy. Prince was the only guy who could show up at your party in frills and steal your girlfriend. Then steal her clothes, then steal someone else's girl in your girlfriend's clothes. Can't remember who said it, but it's spot on. I'll be honest, as someone who was never really into Prince's music, and therefore didn't really know or care about his personal life, for the longest time, I just always assumed Prince was gay. I mean, I knew he was a sex symbol or whatever, but I just figured all the homophobes adopted him and willingly overlooked the fact that he was smashing dudes. Like a more modern Liberace or some shit, Prince would wear lavender, assless chaps and heels and pull the hottest woman in the room. When I was a young child, probably 4 or 5, I traded crayons with a girl in my class who had this crazy neon pink crayon. I'd never seen a color so vibrant and really liked it, and she offered to trade it to me for some other color I had. I said yes, of course, and used it all day. In the evening, I was at home and coloring with this neon pink crayon, and when my mom noticed, she immediately took it away. When I asked why I couldn't color with it, she said, "It's not a color for boys, and I'd understand when I'm older." 20 years later, I told my girlfriend, now wife, that story, and like a week later, she gave me a whole bag full of pink crayons. It was a really sweet gesture, and I feel like it was one of those moments that reinforced my feelings toward her. Also worth noting, I went to college for art, and one of my favorite pieces I made that was accepted into a gallery featured pink pastels pretty prominently. My nephew, who actually is gay, like 8 years old at the time, was picking out some toy with my mom and sister, bigots, and wanted a purple one. Mom and sister tried to steer him towards a more boyish color. His older brother, Ninish at the time, said just let him pick the one he wants. Not exactly related to your story, but was super sweet. My son, who is 3, will sometimes ask his mom when she's getting ready for some lip gloss, because he wants to do the things he sees us do. Sometimes he'll get a nail painted. I'm all for it. He's a kid. He sees it as fun. He likes pink and purple Hot Wheels. Family members will make comments to us how this will make him gay later on. So what? That's my fucking son. He's having fun like a kid is supposed to. The only thing that will make him gay is finding out later, and that he feels that way, and that's who he is. That's it. Either way, that's my buddy, and if he's gay, he's gay. I've got his back like he's had mine so far in some low moments mentally. Edit. Thank you for the awards. I appreciate you enjoyed this comment enough to do that. Thank you to everyone sharing your stories with me of yourself and all your kids being their own person and doing cute shit. I'm happy they're happy and carefree. I may not reply to any more messages, but I am reading them when I can. I wasn't expecting this to pop off like that. Lastly, to the person that made a rude comment and any that might follow, eat my ass. I love seeing my sister and Bill parent because they just let their kids be kids. My nephew loves 2 things, pink and trash trucks. They found him a book with a pink truck in it to read to him. Colors are bright and fun. It is wild to me that we can't see that a 2-year-old liking pink just means he is drawn to the vibrancy and brightness and fun of it. I made some cherry cupcakes that I took over, so now when he sees me he says, "Aren't I bring pink treat?" Tomorrow we are having strawberry rhubarb pie, so maybe that will be close enough for him. That reminds me of my son, except it's pink and trains. He goes fucking crazy for trains. Plus neon and bright colors are eye-catching. Kids love that king of shit. It sticks out. Not me. My wife is a nurse. Apparently washing your dick is pretty fucking gay. Edit, because tons of people seem to be misunderstanding. She doesn't say that. She has patients with nasty ass dicks who tell her they don't wash it cause that's gay. Years ago, I dated a guy briefly who was almost perfect. Attractive, had a good sense of humor, good job, was kind and thoughtful, dressed well, had good ideas for dates. But his personal hygiene down there was abhorrent. I tried, I really did. I even asked him to join me in the shower to wash my back, wink wink. And when I tried to soap him up, he got really weird about it and said that gravity did the job just fine. It does not. Wash your shaft and all connected bits. Anytime I tried to bring it up, he got defensive but still expected me to go down on him. We obviously stopped seeing each other a short time after this. I'm now married to a person who washes everything to my olfactory satisfaction. Edit. And now, my highest rated Reddit comment is about my ex-boyfriend's stanky junk. Thanks. I can't remember what sub it was in, but some guy asked if it was weird that his geef had a whole showering and cleaning ritual fetish before she had sex with him. I think the conclusion was drawn that he had terrible genital hygiene, and he vehemently denied that he was the issue. It was his geef that had the weird, clean kink. Holy shit. Like bro, if your chick has to hose you down before she fucks you, you're a fucking pig. Ever wonder why UT commercials were so prevalent for a while? It's because UTs increase in occurrence when men don't clean as well. There's a whole swath of women who get reoccurring UTs because their dudes don't clean their dicks. Women who have recurrent bacterial vaginosis might also have this as a cause too. Obviously, this is not always the case, and some women are much more prone to them, but there is a non-zero amount of women this applies to. Wash your dicks, dudes. Yup, I had a friend who kept getting UTIs until she figured out that her boyfriend wasn't using soap to clean himself. Once she taught him how to properly wash in the shower, the UTIs mysteriously stopped. The bar is so low, it's in hell. Dude literally believed in trickle-down hygienics. Yeah, my wife said. She always appreciated that I wash it, but has gained a whole new level of love for it since starting her career. I knew it could be bad, but holy fucking shit. To add to this, if you've got foreskin, you absolutely should be cleaning under there too. Pull it back and make sure there's nothing gross hiding away, folks. It's unfathomable to me in this day and age that we have to tell people to wash their dick and asshole. Put my male dog in a collar. The collar had a pink diamante bone on it the size of a fingernail. It was his older sister's puppy collar, and he wore it for 2 months. Drink sweet alcoholic beverages like sweet sherry, or any cocktail with an umbrella in it. And no, I don't care. There is very little peer pressure that I will cave to. Edit. Well, go figure, my highest rated comment of all time is on my work account. For users, you ascended. Hobo unnatural born sinner, u Christorino, uplayer desicluster. Sorry for my late response. I'd been convinced to talk to that girl I liked didn't work out, but glad I did it. To take the hard road despite my fear of heights. Not vertigo, though thankfully, at the aeropark, and to join them in a crappy online game. Of those, I only regret the latter. My favorite line as a bartender was, you know what's manlier than not drinking fruity drinks. What? Doing whatever the fuck you want? Hell yeah. Brother, I sold so many $16 cocktails that way. I always thought that when I'd see the TV commercial for the most interesting man in the world, I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I drink whatever the fuck I want, and I don't give two shits about what other people are drinking. I'll have a appletini and the girliest drink in the house. 2 apple tinies coming right up. Easy on the tiny. I used to get shit for drinking cosmopolitan cocktails because they were pink. I mean, it's like 90% booze and a dash of cranberry, and they taste awesome. Of all of the drinks to be considered feminine, the cosmopolitan makes the least sense to me. A traditional Cosmo is not very sweet at all. An old-fashioned is way sweeter because you add sugar, but that's not considered gay. Just like what you like, I don't get it. I worked at a liquor store during college in a small lock town, and the amount of times I'd need to convince a guy who just wanted to drink a sweet premix that he wasn't weird was really wild. I enjoy getting older and encountering less peer pressure. I'm a woman, and I have a stereotypically girly palette when it comes to alcohol. I've stopped trying to like beer or dry wine to seem mature. Just let me drink my boozy fruit juice in peace. If liking Katy Perry and drinking margaritas is gay, Then who wants to be straight? Go to a wedding with 2 grooms. You're going to a gay wedding. You must be secretly gay, an idiot once told me. I once went to a psych wedding too. Does that make me secretly psych? Secretly Sikh. That would be a secret. I love classic tiki cocktails, but every time I'm making them, I think of the old girl drink drunk sketch from Kids in the Hall. Eat a meat lover's pizza. Aye. What? He's literally putting so much meat in his mouth. Definitely gay. Carrying a reusable bag for groceries. Well, they banned single-use bags in New Jersey, where I live, so you have to use reusable bags. Or you don't use bags. So is everyone in NG gay now? Is this the gay agenda? I'm prancing here. I'm gay and I do this, so they might be onto something. Just coincidence, mate. I took a reusable bag to the store yesterday, and it was a perfectly normal visit. I went in, got my stuff, went to the register, paid, sucked off the cashier, went home. Damn, if that's gay, who wants to be straight? They're stronger, hold more, require fewer trips, and take up less space in the cupboard. A redditts edition never anticipated this response. A lot are hilarious. The space part, I have hundreds of empty leftover paper plastic bags spilling off my top shelf. I have 2 reusable ones. They take up less space. In a landfill as well. Logic is gay now, didn't you hear? I'm a guy. Gayness is relative. My relative is gay. Taking care of your body, specifically moisturizing your skin. My dad has horrible, cracked, dry skin all over his body. Still thinks it's a woman thing to moisturize because humans didn't always need moisturizer. By his logic, we should go back to sitting around a campfire in caves, because humans didn't always have houses modern technologies edit, spelling. One of my students claimed joining the military was gay, because it's nothing but guys. To be fair, a retired Marine friend of mine told he never understood the don't ask, don't tell era because, and this is a quote, there is nothing in the world gayer than a Marine Corps barracks. As a Marine, I've showered with at least 30 naked men, defecated in a stallless bathroom with at least 10 other men, gotten a hey bro in the middle of the night just to look over and see another man grinning and jacking it in the squad bay, had a drunk half-naked leader bust into my room wearing the Borat banana hammock, cuddled with other grown men for warmth. A common phrase in my unit, for whatever reason, was shut up before I come over there and suck your dick. Why? Because Marines. I've never been in other dudes' personal space so much in my life, and yay, things get a little fucky. But I'd never call it gay because we leave our boot bands on during... I saw a meme that said it all. Marines, the most homo-erotic straight men on earth. I saw this line on here, you put 40 Marines men on a boat and come out with 20 couples. Oh, wow. I mean, have you met or seen videos of military men hanging out together? Yeah, Top Gun was basically a documentary. It's homo-erotic shirtless volleyball as far as the eye can see. I have heard from multiple vets that the military was the gayest 4 years of their lives, or some variation of that phrase. None of them were actually gay, but their recollection of the experience all pointed there. I like to pull down my jacket sleeves onto my palms on cold days. One of my friends told me to behave like a man. If someone critiques an inconsequential behavior by saying behave like a man, just tell them a man don't care what you think and continue as you were. Of course, behave yourself and lose your fingers to frostbite like a man. Years ago, a co-worker insisted that lesbian porn was gay. Not in a that's technically correct way. He was insistent that proper men shouldn't watch women getting each other off. Apparently, straight men need to see other men's erect penises in their porn. Who knew? Who knew? Oh, he is getting railed by dudes as we speak. Relevant stand-up routine by Ron White. The delivery is a bit antiquated, but the joke still works. Hot tips, you too, Ben Goxtek Zero Hey Edit. Wrong. Nope, sorry, not dull. I'm not the one who called it gay. I just know someone who refuses to wear gloves and always pulls his sleeves down over his hands. It made me crazy. I played lacrosse in high school. The team primarily consisted of semi-literate, homophobic rednecks. We went to McDonald's after one of the games, and when it was my turn to place my order, I asked for a filet. Ooh, fish. Behind me stood one of the most bigoted team members, and as I walked back to wait for my order, he looked at me and said, "Faggot." I got called a faggot for ordering a filet-o-fish at McDonald's. Turns out, years later, this homophobe had started swinging with another horrible member of the old high school lacrosse team. They were both married, but liked swapping or something. However, one thing led to another, and eventually one of the wives walked in on the two Red Neil homophobes getting it on with each other, no wives included. Think it ended in a couple divorces. I would argue that while the women may be lesbian or bi, they are performing a heterosexual sex act. As opposed to two cis women, they would be performing a 100% gay sex act. If anything, I hypothesize that two lesbian cis women having sex with a strap on is the least gay of them all, but I don't have the credentials to tell you what percentage that would be. Apparently using a bidet is pretty gay, according to the kids at the high school I work at. Use the hall water fountain then. Show them who's the man. Earring in the right ear or left ear for a male. Not sure which. Right ear. At least that was the story 30 years ago. Right signified gay. Left is right, right is wrong. At least in the area I grew up in. Left ear, rat tail, and too much ego. Wearing shorts or getting my hair cut by a male barber. Both were said by a male co-worker in his late 50s from a southern state. Getting my hair cut by a male barber. That guy popped a boner once while getting a haircut, and it's haunted him ever since.